Just really proud of our guys this past weekend to be able to come out of the weekend 3-1, hard fought series, two of the best teams in the league. Going into the weekend, we're in second. Coming out of the weekend, we're in first, which, means good stuff for a couple days. But if you don't play well down the stretch, then you're not going to be in first place. So, but the positive is everything's in our control. And that's what we talk about in our program all the time, is just focusing on what we can control. And right now we can control our own destiny. We need to play better on the road. Told the guys yesterday, I said, if we go 4-4 these next 2 weekends, what I can promise you is that we will not win the conference and we will not host a regional. So that's what I can promise you. So we need to play better on the road. And I think our guys are excited. School's out. Our guys did a really good job in the classroom. The GPA will be high again. I'm not sure exactly what it'll be, but really proud of the work they put in the classroom as well. So we're excited. We're going to practice a little bit early this morning to try to beat the rain. And then we actually leave pretty early tomorrow morning to drive to Raleigh, get on a flight, get to Cincinnati so we can practice tomorrow night up at Cincinnati.
Okay, we'll open up the questions now.
Coach, obviously the second time you guys will face the Bearcats, and they've played really good, especially since you guys' series. And I know you focus on yourself, but just what do you remember about that first series against them?
Well, it seems like 2 years ago, not whenever it was, I guess 5 weekends ago. But I know they're playing better. Just kind of following the scores and the box scores and stuff. And I do remember them being really tough to maneuver through offensively. They're older offensively. They can do some things. Jace Mercer's having a great year. He's one of the best players in the league. And they're pitching. I remember a lot of lefties. Shawver was banged up a little bit. He pitched 2 innings. I know he'll be better. He's going, I'm assuming, game 3 for him. So we'll have our hands full. Look, it's not an easy place to play up there. It's on turf. The park sometimes plays huge. Sometimes it plays small, depending on the way the wind blows and stuff. So Coach Googans does a great job. I mean, he has done an unbelievable job with their program. As you guys can remember, they made a run through the 2019 conference tournament and then made some noise in the regional. So he's a very good coach, and he does a really good job with his team. His team will be prepared and ready to go.
Coach, like you said, there's another tough opponent this week. Cincinnati's 12-5 at home, and they are led by 3 grad students in Bellini, Mercer, and Santiago, and then you got Comistec and Nicholson in that bunch. What do you feel like you have to do to be successful pitching against that bunch overall?
Well, you got to be able to change speeds. You got to be able to pitch on both sides of the plate. And that's really pitching 101 when you're facing good hitters and older hitters, especially. You can't get into patterns. They're going to know what's coming, basically, and they're going to get good swings off and get ahead of the hitters. I mean, like I said, it's pitching 101, but those are the things that we'll need to do.
How has Carson bounced back, with the since the outing on Sunday?
He's just had normal soreness, and he's scheduled to throw a bullpen today, and then we'll reevaluate that again after that. But right now we're going to go Williams, Smith, TBA. Coochmaner probably will not start. He's going to pitch out of the bullpen. We're working with him on some mechanical stuff, and I think he's kind of gotten off tilt a little bit. He threw a bullpen yesterday. It's the best bullpen that he's thrown all year, and his stuff was a lot better. So Coach Dietrich and Coach Knight are working with him on that, and he seemed pretty excited after he got done with the bullpen yesterday. So that's great to see.
You think that'll take maybe just some pressure, thoughts out of his mind, shoulders, that sort of stuff?
Absolutely. And I go, this, and I've said this a lot, but of all the players that have ever come through our program, I don't worry about Cooch doing the right things or working hard enough or getting his arm carry in. I mean, he can do that in his sleep, but he's very smart. And then when stuff goes, sideways and you're a hard worker and you're a smart kid, you kind of looking around and go, why is this happening to me? Well, that's what life is. I mean, there's a lot of times that bad things happen to great people every single day in this world. And that's why I think baseball teaches you more about the game of life than any other sport. And it's hard when you have had success and then, you're not having as much success as you have had in the past. It's tough. I mean, this game will challenge you, but Cooch has been a champion from showing up at practice, having energy, not acting like the woe is me. I mean, that's the thing that just excites me, because I know that he's going to go out there and compete. He just needs to go out there and be a baseball player. Him and I talked yesterday, and he's taking some ground balls at first base just to get his mind off pitching a little bit. And he's a super athletic kid. He could actually, if we wanted him to be a position player, I don't know if he'd be in our starting nine, but he'd be one of our guys that traveled and be a position player, because that's how athletic he is.
Coach, last time out, I think you got 36 hits against them over the course of the weekend. What does this team have to do to be successful this weekend, just at the plate against them?
To be honest with you, I have not looked at any of their pitching stuff. I'm going to go back and the guys that started it against us, look at that, and then look at their most recent starts as well, and then watch their bullpen arms. But like I said, it was 5 weeks ago, so I'm sure that some of the stuff's a little bit different.
Cliff, my internet went out during the post game on Sunday, but Thomas Francisco obviously had a big game. Anything different that he did in the Sunday game, or just seeing the ball and whatever?
No, he didn't go up there and do anything different. He's been really consistent for us all year. Of course, he's hit a few more home runs recently. And Franny's one of the best hitters in the country. He's steady Eddie, and he's been overshadowed because of what Connor Norby's done. But he has protected him for a lot of the season, so that they have to pitch to Norby because Francisco's behind him. But he just saw some good pitches and put good swings on them, and they left the yard. So he's just done what he's done pretty much his entire career here, is just hit. And he's a great hitter, and he'll continue to do that as long as he stays slow in the box and doesn't try to do too much.
Can you talk a little bit about maybe having some options at first base? And you've obviously got some good hitters there to kind of strategize with.
Yeah, so you've got Josh Mullen, you've got Thomas Francisco, Skylar Brooks was an option, but he had a bad hamstring pull, so he's not an option anymore. Last weekend, which I didn't even talk about it, but we had a COVID positive with one of our players, and it knocked one other player out. So it was two freshmen. So Cam Plunch was not available last weekend. If he tests negative this week, then we have an opportunity to fly him up on Friday morning because he will get out of his whatever quarantine, close contact, whatever that is. I'm not the doctors, but I just listened to Womack. So if he tests positive the next 2 days, then he'll be able to fly to Raleigh Friday morning and meet us up there. So that's what we're banking on. And he's another option over there. Cooch is an option as well. So that's why another reason we're working him out over there, because we really only had 2 options to go over there this past weekend.
Cliff, Bradley Wilson, is he still in the program?
Yes, he is. Yep.
Okay.
Coach, I feel like I know the answer to this, but it sounds like they're going to announce the 20 regional potential hosts tomorrow while you guys maybe are traveling. Do you address it with the team, or I guess they'll probably see it on their own, but what do you even kind of say to them after that news comes out?
Well, we've already talked about it. We talked about it yesterday after practice. What time is it? I don't even know. That's how much I care. I don't even know what time it is.
They haven't really said a time, so yeah, I'm not sure, honestly.
And when I say I don't care, look, our guys have put themselves in a situation where, I feel like I'd bet a lot of money. I'm not a gambler, so compliance doesn't come, put me in compliance jail. But that will be one of the 20. But I told him yesterday after practice, what about if we're not one of the 20? Are we going to stop playing? We're pretty good. I feel confidently we could go on the road and definitely challenge some people if we had to go on the road and be a 2 seed. So, but even if they announce that Greenville, North Carolina, Clark LeClaire Stadium is one of the 20, it doesn't mean you're hosting, because there's only 16 teams that host. So really it's fool's goal, in my opinion. And that's what I told them yesterday. I said, it'll be exciting for you guys, I'm sure, and fans will talk about it. It's great. But if we don't do what we need to do, then that will just be a couple weeks of excitement. And then when Monday happens, or Sunday, I guess they tell everyone on Sunday where the host sites are on Memorial Day weekend, then, we'll be disappointed because we didn't handle our own business.
Coach, how fired up are you guys to get in the airplane and go up to Cincinnati and kind of keep this thing rolling? You come off of a really solid weekend last weekend, and things are moving in the right direction, it seems like, at the right time of the season. Give us your thoughts a little bit.
Mark, I love your comments. Like, hey, things are moving in the right direction. We've had a pretty good season. We've had a hell of a season to this point, like a hell of a one. And Malcolm is my fact check. But Malcolm, have we been 33-10 or whatever we are in the Coach Godwin era?
The 19 team was, and then
Gotcha.
other than that, I think only 6 other teams have had a better record through 43 games.
Yeah. So it's a hell of a year. But as we know, the back end of the season is the most important when you put yourself in a good situation. And our guys are excited to play. I mean, they enjoy competing and getting out there, and they know what's at stake. And it's been a pretty mature group to this point. I mean, we've learned a lot of lessons the past couple weekends. Wichita State, when we show up and like our guys are engaged and they're locked in, they don't have the glazed over look, we can beat anybody in the country. And we learned that. I finally felt like the guys actually didn't just hear me talking about it. They could see it for themselves. And then this past weekend, we learned how to keep our mouths shut and let our game do the talking and not get caught up in, talking junk when we hit a home run or striking somebody out, just pump our dugout out. So if we can continue to learn and get better throughout the season, then, we'll put ourselves in a good situation to go out there and play baseball in the postseason. And that's what our goal is going in. And right now, all of our goals are in front of us. There's none that are like, hey, you can't win the conference, or you can't win 40 games, or you can't host a regional. All that stuff's right there. So we just need to go out and play well. And yeah, you can't not talk about it now. I mean, it's in their face all the time. Social media, the kids are on social media. So it is what it is. And you just got to ignore it, read it, throw it in the trash can, go out to practice and get better, and think that you're not very good. And that's the way we try to approach it each and every day.
Cliff, close around 15% of your games this regular season are going to be against Cincinnati. And I know you just said this is the way the schedule is worked out, but when you're playing that 8th game and you know them pretty well, I mean, how do you make that work for you?
It is. I know that I keep saying this little term here that I got from Coach Palumbo, but it is what it is. I mean, look, they make the schedule. We just go play teams. And of course, you're going to be more familiar with the team that you've played 8 times compared to 4. But at the end of the day, you still got to go out there and play baseball and execute. And that's what we'll try to do. Back when we first were here in the American, when we had UConn as our travel, we were playing them 6 times. I think in the first 2 years that we were here as a coaching staff at East Carolina, I think we played UConn 15 times in 2 years. Like, that's crazy. I mean, we felt like we knew the signs for the other team, and they knew our signs. It was, which Coach Penders and I are really good friends, and they do a great job. But it was, you enjoyed to see their faces, but you didn't enjoy to play them because you knew how hard fought it was going to be each and every game that you played them.
Okay, is there anything else for Coach Godwin? Okay, and Coach, just to let you know, since 2001, only 3 teams have been 33-10. So you've got 2 of them, and then there's 4 others that are better than that. So that's for you media guys as well.
And I wasn't saying it for Malcolm. For I just want people to understand what the guys have done to this point. The guys have done a really good job, and it's been harder this year than I would put an asterisk to this season next to all those other ones and say, it's been a lot more difficult to maneuver through, and the 4-game weekends, all that stuff it's been harder to get to 33-10 than it's ever been. And our guys have done a really good job. 01, you just don't have that information in front of you. What are you trying to say, Malcolm? I'm too old, so you can't go back to my senior year, because we were probably better than 33-10 in 01, if I had to guess.
99, 35-8, 2000, 32-11. So
What was 01?
01 was 33-10.
33-10. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So good stuff.
Yeah.
Malcolm's got all the information right there.
I try, Coach. Anybody else got anything for Coach Godwin? All right, Coach, thank you very much. Safe travels. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys.